Shalom and welcome to Beit Yisrael International's Voice of Torah podcast, where the eternal wisdom of the Torah meets the heartbeat of today's world. Today we journey into the transformative depths of Parashat Nasso in this sacred year of 5785. As the census of the Levitical families continues, especially that of the Gershonites and Merarites, we are reminded that every family, every soul in Israel has a unique role in carrying the Mishkan. Your burden is not a weight. It is your divine calling. Immediately after the camp is purified, the Torah presents two powerful contrasts: the Sotah, a woman suspected of betrayal, and the Nazir, one who voluntarily rises above physical indulgence in pursuit of spiritual closeness. As Chazal teaches, one who sees a Sotah in her disgrace should become a Nazir. These are not random laws. They speak to the inner moral compass and potential within us all. Then comes the radiant light of Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing. May Hashem bless you and guard you. The Zohar reveals that this is not merely a blessing, but a cosmic channel of divine favor, connecting the upper and lower worlds. Like the Nazir, we must know when to rise above. Like the Sotah, we must purify doubt with truth. Like the Kohen, we must bless our brothers and sisters. And like the tribal leaders, we must give, not to be different, but to be devoted. In the footsteps of Mashiach, we are called to be vessels of light in the darkness. This is how the nation becomes holy. This is how we prepare the world for Geulah, the final redemption.
Welcome to the deep dive. Have you ever read something, maybe a text, and felt like one word or maybe a phrase just kept sort of jumping out, hinting at something much bigger?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what happens in Parashat Nasso. And today we're really plunging into the profound spiritual meaning there, especially around this idea of lifting and that powerful priestly blessing, Birkat Kohanim.
Yeah, and we've gathered, quite a fascinating stack of sources for this deep dive, haven't we? We're drawing from lifting blessing in Parashat Nasso, which itself pulls in teachings from Beit Yisrael International and notes from Gad Ephraim.
Right.
And it weaves them together with, the classic wisdom. Think Rashi, the Talmud, Midrash, Zohar, Ramban, Sfat Emet, even the Alter Rebbe. It's quite a mix.
It really is. And our mission really is to unpack all these rich sources. We want to uncover those layers of meaning behind, divine elevation, blessing, peace, everything that's packed into this portion. Think of this as maybe your shortcut to seeing how these seemingly simple words or actions open up to just incredible spiritual depths.
Exactly. A shortcut to the deep stuff.
So, okay, let's start with that word that keeps showing up, Nasso. It means to lift. We see it again and again in Nasso, applied to different things, lifting heads, lifting palms, and ultimately, the divine lifting his face. What are the sources telling us about this repetition? Why this focus on lifting?
Well, it's definitely more than just coincidence or, simply describing physical things like taking a census or raising hands. The sources, and especially Beit Yisrael International and the Gad Ephraim notes, they really highlight this repetition. They see it as a kind of sacred pattern.
A pattern.
Yeah, pointing to a fundamental principle. Spiritual elevation, this whole upward movement, this lifting of ourselves, it's shown as deeply connected to the blessing coming down from above, like two sides of the same coin.
Okay, so lifting is the core mechanism here. And it feels like in the portion, all of this builds towards a kind of climax, right? Which is the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing.
Yes, absolutely. The famous three verses. You know them. May Hashem bless you and protect you.
May Hashem shine his face toward you and be gracious to you.
May Hashem lift his face toward you and grant you peace. That's the structure.
And the sources, they reveal that these three verses aren't just like a random list of good things. They actually describe a distinct progression, almost like a journey we're being taken on.
That's exactly right. Beit Yisrael International and Gad Ephraim, they describe this as a layered process. That first verse, bless and protect, it seems really focused on the material world, doesn't it? Physical needs, safety, kind of grounded stuff.
Basic security.
But then the second, shine his face and be gracious. That moves inward. It touches on spiritual illumination, divine favor, grace. But for our inner selves, it's getting more personal, more spiritual.
Correct.
And then the third, lift his face and grant peace. That reaches the highest level. It establishes peace, Shalom, as the ultimate state. It's the vessel, the container, really, for all the other blessings. Gad Ephraim even points out it's structured almost like the layers of the Mishkan itself, ascending in wholeness.
Oh, that's a great analogy, the Mishkan layers. That really helps visualize the ascent. Okay, so let's zoom in on those 3 specific times lifting appears, starting with the first one in the portion, Nasso et Rosh, lifting the heads. This is the census, right?
Yeah, the census. But when the heads of Israel are counted, Beit Yisrael International teaches that this act means each soul is literally lifted into account. It's way more than just a head count.
Right, not just demographics.
Exactly. It symbolizes elevating the physical body by affirming the huge value, the inherent worth of every single soul within the community. Every person matters. Every soul is seen, counted, and lifted up.
So lifting the heads, it's about recognizing and elevating the worth of both the individual and the collective. Okay, what about the next lifting, Nesiat Kapayim, the lifting of the palms? This is the physical action, what the priests actually do when they give the blessing.
Ah, yes. And this is where the physical becomes, well, a direct conduit for the spiritual. It's fascinating. The Zohar reveals this incredible secret, the specific way the priests arrange their fingers. It actually forms the letter Shin.
Shin, from Shaddai.
Exactly, part of the holy name Shaddai. And the Zohar says that through these raised, separated fingers, divine abundance is channeled. It flows downwards to the people.
Now, it's easy to think, maybe, that the priest is the one doing the blessing, the source of it. But the sources seem pretty clear that's not right.
Absolutely not. Ramban is really forceful on this point. Hashem is the true source, the only source of the blessing. The Kohen, who's been consecrated for this service, acts as a pure channel, a humble conduit. They open themselves up to allow that divine light to flow through them to the people.
So the priest isn't generating it, just transmitting it.
Precisely. And Gadi Ephraim offers this really powerful image here. He compares this act, the raised hands, to Mount Sinai itself, where the divine presence like fire came down.
Wow.
So the priest's hands in this moment become like a miniature Sinai, channeling that same divine light and peace. And Beit Yisrael International connects this specific lifting, the palms, to the unified elevation of body, mind, and soul all together during the blessing.
Okay, that brings us to the third one. And this is where I agree it gets really interesting. That third, most profound lifting, Yisa Hashem panav ilecha, may Hashem lift his face toward you. I mean, what does that even mean? For the divine, for God to lift his face.
It's such a rich phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
And different sources give us layers of understanding. Rashi, for instance, explains it as an act of pure, unearned, divine favor.
Unearned.
Yes. It's not something we necessarily merit through our perfect actions. It's more like an expression of God's mercy, a deliberate turning towards us, especially maybe when we've fallen or we're just in need of grace.
So it's not tied directly to our merits at that moment.
The Talmud seems to elaborate on exactly that. It confirms this lifting of the face shows compassion even when our merits are, let's say, incomplete. God turns towards us despite our shortcomings.
Okay.
And then Sfat adds another beautiful dimension. He suggests it means God, in his incredible mercy, actually descends to meet us in our brokenness, right where we are. And from that place, lifts us up. It's like a divine encounter right in our lowest moments.
That idea, God meeting us right where we are, that's incredibly powerful. And it sounds like the Alter Rebbe and Beit Yisrael International take this even further, describing it almost as intimacy.
Yes, exactly. They see it as God showing us, proving to us that he isn't distant or removed. He sees us. He actively chooses us. He turns towards us again and again simply out of pure love and connection.
It's a constant re-choosing.
It is. And Gadi Ephraim highlights that this is really more than just forgiveness for past mistakes. It's about reconnection. It's a re-choosing, a powerful reaffirmation of that covenantal relationship.
So it's not a passive thing at all. It's an active, loving engagement coming from the divine. And the Midrash, doesn't it connect this part of the blessing, especially the second and third verses, to touching the deepest part of ourselves, our inner self, and actually drawing down the Shekinah, the divine presence.
It does, drawing the presence right down into our lives, which, naturally brings us right to the conclusion of the entire blessing.
Okay.
Peace, shalom.
Right, Shalom. Why does this incredibly powerful blessing, which moves all the way from material protection up to this peak of spiritual intimacy, why does it culminate specifically in peace? What's so special about peace?
Well, because peace, shalom, in this context, is not just, the absence of fighting or conflict.
Mm-hmm.
The sources describe shalom as something much bigger, a state of holistic harmony.
Harmony, like how?
Harmony between your body and your soul, harmony between you and other people, and ultimately the full harmony between Israel and God. It's completeness, wholeness.
Okay, so it's about wholeness, And this peace, it's presented not just as a nice outcome, but as something, well, essential for all the other blessings to even land properly.
Absolutely essential. There's that critical teaching from the Mishnah. No vessel can hold blessing like peace. It's the container. Without peace, those other blessings, protection, grace, favor, they might arrive, but they have no stable place to settle, to take root, to really flourish.
They dissipate.
Maybe. Or we couldn't fully receive them or benefit from them. And Rambam, looking ahead, even envisions the Messianic era itself as being defined by this pervasive peace, because that state of harmony, that shalom, is the ultimate context needed for serving the divine and experiencing all blessings fully. It's the foundation.
It's the foundation that lets everything else stand firm. So, okay, looking back at where we started, that repeated word, nasso, to lift, it's clearly not just a descriptive term scattered through the portion. It's a fundamental theme. It points to this whole process of spiritual elevation.
Right. Lifting the heads, valuing the soul, lifting the palms, creating that channel for divine flow, and then the ultimate lifting Hashem's face, turning towards us in intimacy and rechoosing.
Exactly. And the sources really help us see that the priestly blessing itself is, well, it's far more than just words being spoken aloud, isn't it?
Oh, much more. It's an enactment, a real transmission of spiritual energy. It flows through that pure channel, the Kohen, mediated by the light of the divine face turning towards us. And it all culminates in this profound peace that's meant to enter and settle right inside the hearts of everyone receiving it.
It completely reframes the whole idea of what it means to receive a blessing. You're not just passively getting something, you're participating in this process of elevation, of becoming a channel yourself, in a way.
It's a powerful transformation described right there in the portion. It's truly about the lifting of Israel's soul, helped along by this divine blessing. And maybe it's a call to each one of us, to every heart, to be lifted and ultimately to become a vessel that's just overflowing with shalom.
So to wrap up this deep dive then, the sources make this incredibly compelling case that peace, shalom, isn't just one of the blessings. It's framed as the ultimate vessel that's needed to hold all the other blessings.
Yes, exactly. It's presented as the fundamental prerequisite, the state of being that's required for that divine flow to actually settle in us and remain with us. That idea is really something to think about. That cultivating harmony, inner harmony, harmony with others, cultivating peace, might actually be the most crucial step we can take in opening ourselves up to receive all forms of blessing. It's powerful. So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. What does that suggest to you about the connection between your own internal state, your relationships, and the blessings you actually experience in your life?